Hi everyone, my name is Victoria and welcome to my channel. I'm going to start by saying thank you for the comments and any support they would give me. But I know the root to most of your problems. How have you found yourself struggling to keep up the self-discipline, keep up consistency, keep up positive thoughts, keep up any good habits? Because if you did, the problem may just be that you just don't trust yourself. And the reason I know that this is probably the root of all of your problems is because I found that to be the root of all my problems. And I'm not saying that you will have the same thing as me, but what I'm saying is that this may just be a few too. So I always found it hard to keep up my good habits. I am very self-aware and I know exactly what I have to improve on. And I know I'm not perfect and I never will be, but it's okay to strive for it. But you have to keep in the back of your mind this thought where it's like you strive to be perfect knowing you will never be perfect. So whenever I would tell myself, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna have this morning routine, I'm gonna have this night routine, and etc. I would say I will do it, and then I will do it for the matter of maybe 2-3 days, and then I would stop. Or I would tell myself, okay, I'm gonna do this in the way of my procrastination, because I would procrastinate a ton. So I would say, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. Then comes the day I do it. And I procrastinate and I tell myself, oh, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. And then the next day, I say, okay, I'm gonna do it this time. And then I never do it. And then by the time I am sick of it and I'm like, okay, I wanna really grow, I write down what I want to do again, but I get this sense of, I don't know what it was, but it was always this weird feeling that I wasn't going to do it. And I was always telling myself in the back of my mind, you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it. And I was always telling myself, you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it. And then I realized that the reason that I was saying that after a while, because this is the first time I truly started trusting myself, was because I never trusted myself to do it, because I knew that I probably won't do it. But then when I started doing this thing where I say, okay, I'm going to work out every single day, I start, and even if it's 9, 10, 11 p.m, I will get on that bed and I will work out. Even if it's just 60 crunches, I will do it so that I know that I will do it. That whatever I want to do, I will do. Because if you tell yourself you're going to do something and you never do it, not even in the tiniest bit, you will lose trust in yourself, which means that this will backfire on you, that you will believe you're inconsistent, you will become a procrastinator, you will become undisciplined, you will become all of these things. But if in the back of the mind, you know that you're gonna do it, you want to do it, and it's easier to do it. Understand that this whole thing about going to sleep and sleeping for 8 hours is all bullshit. You should be sleeping for 8 hours, and no one's saying you shouldn't. But then again, it's not like you have to sleep for 8 hours. I mean, it's technically something we should be doing if we want to get a full rest. For me, sleeping for 4 hours got me tired all day in school, and I couldn't sit at all in lessons, and I would say that I'm ill, and I would go to my school nurse, and I would tell her that I'm ill and I'm tired and stuff like that, and all she could do is give me water. So, but I knew that if I am willing to sacrifice my sleep and my rest for the next day, doing what I said I will do, rather than losing the trust in myself. Because when you lose trust, you will not be consistent, you will not be disciplined, because in the back of your mind you will be saying, you're not going to actually do it. Right now you're feeling motivated, but you're not going to do it. So that's what you get. However, if you set goals for yourself, because every night I set 3 goals for myself for the next day, no matter what time, no matter if I'm doing it literally the next day because I'm doing it at midnight, I'm still doing it. Which is, even if I write down I'm going to work out, even if it is 60 crunches at 10:30 p.m, I will do the 10 crunches so that I know that I did work out. Or for example, if you say you're going to read a book, I will take this book and I will open it and not even read it sometimes, just open it and read like 3 words, and I will tell myself I've read. But I don't actually read 3 words. I end up forcing myself to read at least 1 whole page. But I would read 1 whole page and I would be like, okay, I read something. So I can take that off. Yes, maybe I didn't read the whole thing. I maybe didn't read as much as I wanted to. But I'm slowly going to start trusting myself, because what you tend to do, what I mentioned in I think it was my previous video about procrastination, is that some people just kind of go all in and then you're not consistent, because it's like you start reading for 1 hour a day out of the blue, and then you start, I don't know, going to bed really early, and that's not going to be consistent because it's such a dramatic change, and there's a handful of people that manage to cope with that change and then manage to stick to that change. There is a handful of people that can do that. And so what I recommend is actually slowly getting into it, which I mentioned in my last video. So what you have to do is you've got to build trust with yourself, just as if you had a friend and that friend betrayed you in a way that you felt like you would never forgive them, and you want to be friends with that person. So you've got to gain that trust back. You can't just trust them ultimately. You've got to build that trust back with them. So it's the same thing with you. You're not going to trust yourself fully in the beginning. You've got to build that trust back with yourself. So do it slowly. Write down you're going to read. Even if reading 1 page, it's okay, because you know you're going to read. And just me knowing that I will do it, even in the smallest way, I feel happy and I feel really motivated, because I know that I will do it no matter what. I will do it. Even if I have to not sleep, I will do it. Because I'm willing to sacrifice my sleep to feel complete in this moment. Because I prefer to build my trust back than resting and going to bed in the next day feeling like a total mess and like I didn't complete something again and that I'm a waste of space or a waste of time. I never believed that I'm a waste of space or time. I feel like that's a very bad thing. That's a very bad thing to be saying to yourself and believing. But I'm just like very real with myself, and you should be very real with you. And you may just be like, oh, I did it again. I messed up again. And when you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do this and this and this, and you just deep in your heart know you're not going to do it, is what hurts. And so I prefer sacrificing that pain and sacrificing my sleep for my future, which is so much more important to me. And you've got to have trust in yourself, because if you don't trust yourself, no one will ever trust you to complete something. So think about it this way. If someone asked you, is it okay if you write this essay for me and I will pay you? And you say, yeah, sure. You've built like a trust contract with this person. This person trusts you to do it. So you've got to do it, because you're doing it for someone else. So if you don't do it, that person will not trust you to write that essay again, which means that the chances of you making money with that person are so low, because that person does not trust you anymore. That person's like, that person won't do it for me anymore. And then, so what you do is, instead of breaking that trust with them, you know that this may be very useful for you in the future to be in contact with this person, or overall you've got to make some money or whatever the case may be. You know you cannot fail on this. You know you cannot break this. So let's say you even procrastinated. You will do it all night if you have to, because you said you will do it. So you do it. No matter how tired you are, you will do it because you don't want to break that trust with that person. You give it to them and you're happy because even though you worked your ass off, you've still got that trust with that person still trusts you because you did it. Why can't you do that with yourself? Like, why can you not do that with yourself? You've got to start treating yourself literally equal to the point with other people. You should actually be treating yourself a lot better than you treat other people, because when you treat yourself better than what you treat other people, eventually how you treat other people will get back to that level of how you treat yourself, and that means that you can constantly keep getting better, and the better you get, the better people will be attracted to you, and the better people will come to you into your life. That's what God will do for you. When you change, your surroundings change. And there's this one thing that this woman said, that in order to change where you are, you've got to change your mind. If you want to be changing where you are, and you think you're changing your mind, but you're still in the same place, you're clearly just not there yet mentally. and you've still got to be working on it. But anyway, that's a bit. But you've got to build that trust with yourself, because when you build that trust with yourself, as that person will be able to rely on you to be like, okay, this person did something to me, did something for me, I'm going to do it again. And they will trust you with bigger projects, and they will trust you with more things, eventually recommending you to other people. Why can't you do that for yourself? Because that means that eventually, if you trust yourself with the little things, you can trust yourself with the big things. So you've got to trust yourself. Care for the trust you have in yourself as much as you care for how much trust people have in you. In fact, care for your trust more. Because if you trust yourself that if you do that, and let's say you take on a task, if you don't trust yourself to do it, you're probably most likely going to be doing it 3 in the morning the day it's due. Let's say it's due at 5, you're going to be doing it at 3. But if you trust yourself, you will probably do it a lot earlier anyway, which will save you. So overall, trust in yourself is very important. And once you trust you can do it, you will do it. So that's what's the most important thing. So that may just be the root of all your problems. You just don't trust yourself. So I hope this video helped many of you. And I feel like this isn't really talked about very often, so yeah. Hope you guys have a lovely night. Good night.